Hi, I'm Dana. It's time for this week's question, and it comes from Cheryl. And Cheryl's expecting another baby. And I dread what will happen with my 2-year-old, who's been trained to be a great sleeper since she was 1. Their rooms are close, and I fear that she will hear the baby and react with crying and waking up to the noise. What do you recommend I do to prep for the new baby? Okay, this is a great question, and lots of people either don't start sleep training until they are expecting a new baby, or definitely feel a little nervous about rocking the boat when a new baby comes along. Okay, so first thing I always suggest to people, and if she's 2, I'm guessing she's still in a crib, is to not move to a toddler bed right away. I know in everyone's mind it makes sense to think, well, we should get her ready for the bed, we should start early, so a few months before the baby's born, people start transitioning from the crib to the bed. Well, even if she's doing great in the bed, as soon as that new baby actually shows up, I find that there's usually either a regression in sleep or in potty training, or both. So it is better, if you really want to move her to a bed, it is much better to wait until at least a few months after the new baby has arrived to make the transition. Giving your toddler a chance to adjust to the new baby, to get used to the idea that there's a new baby, to know that things are, okay and the same, and feel reassured, and then start the transition. Okay, and that's usually easy enough because new babies are often in the bassinet anyway for the first couple of months, so you shouldn't be desperate for the crib. And even, I had children close together, and I had 2 cribs all the time. I had my older one in a crib and bought a second crib for the baby because I just didn't want to risk having a regression around sleep, especially when a new baby is in the picture. So try to keep her in the crib as long as you can. And I usually suggest anywhere between 2.5 and 3 is a better age to transition to the crib, from the crib. I find that children are much better at understanding the consequences, and you can really go through it with them. And I just find that it goes much smoother if you wait. So there's no rush for that. Okay, and the next thing you want to do is be fairly firm about your expectations around her sleep. Even if at first she's protesting a little more than normal going to bed, and I know it's tempting to sort of feel, oh, I feel bad for her, there's a new baby, and maybe we should let her stay up a little later, or maybe we should lay down with her because she's feeling a bit insecure. You really shouldn't do things like that. Toddlers actually end up feeling more insecure when rules and boundaries shift when they push than if they pushed and nothing happened. Okay, so you want to remember that even though she might be pushing, you want to stay consistent, you want to stay firm and supportive, you want to keep bedtime the same so that her whole life's not spiraling out of control. So anticipate some resistance, but then handle it accordingly. If I always tell parents, if you want to alleviate your guilt about bringing a new baby into this family, then do it in other ways. Take her for ice cream, just mommy and your toddler, or a trip to the aquarium, or something special that's just some you and her time that can help. So stay strict with your boundaries, and you can also tell her, babies cry, and if you hear the baby in the night, not to worry, that you're handling it, and if she does hear the baby, to just acknowledge that it's a baby crying and that mommy's dealing with it, and go back to sleep. The good news is that toddlers are very sound sleepers, especially if they've been good sleepers for any length of time. It sounds like you've done a great job with her, and she is a good sleeper, so that should stay. There might even be nights where the baby is quite upset and it doesn't wake her at all. So don't worry too much about that happening, and if it does, oh well, you just remind her that it's okay and tuck her back in, and back to sleep she goes. So anticipate some troubles, but just stay strong and consistent with your expectations for her, and it should go well. So good luck and congratulations, and sleep well.